Tock Turkey and the Festival of Honolulu. Hello, this is Natasha, and I'm here to reintroduce you to a very old friend. In fact, we haven't heard from him for some years. His name is Tock Turkey. He's best known for travelling in time and for being rather greedy. And this unusual character lives on a magical island with his best friend, Future Dog. We still get messages asking for more Tock Turkey, and I'm very pleased to say, here he is. Tock Turkey and Future Dog had been on Egg Island for some time now, and it was known to be one of the best islands around. In order to celebrate, the good people of Egg Island were going to put on a festival with a local troupe of dancers on board a giant Hawaiian boat out to sea. There was going to be Honolulu dancing, and there would be reeds, and the penguins were going to do an acrobatic sea show in which they all climbed on top of one another to make the shape of a pyramid, and the ones at the top would wave some pom-poms. They were all getting a bit carried away. The float could take on board quite a few hundred people, so once it was ready, all the creatures of Egg Island could hop on board. There would be an inflatable raft that would drop down to the beach on the shore edge, so all the creatures could travel to the float. The Honolulu Performance Festival would last 2 days and 3 nights, and would take place in late July. A few hundred yards out into the sea of Egg Island, upon the carnival float, Tock Turkey was still working on the giant sign to advertise it to the island. He was going to be managing the float this year, and he also had to prepare all the different drink preparations for the carnival procession in advance. Coconut and pineapple smoothie delight, mango and passion fruit surprise, strawberry fresh and chocolate swirl crush. The list was endless. Cocktail sticks and straws. "Ah," said Tock Turkey as he dropped a small cocktail stick. "Whatever will I do?" And he slipped over backward in some gooey liquid and on to Clive the crab. Tock Turkey's friend was helping him out. He put his scissors down from opening some tomato juice to help his friend up, who was now covered in strawberry juice. "I think we need a little more help," said Clive. "Have you thought about getting some people to help with serving the drinks from Egg Island? Maybe the monkeys will help." Tock Turkey turned his head sharply in dismay. "Oh no, not the monkeys. They're not to be trusted. We need some more sensible creatures." "Well, I do know a few starfish," said Clive. Tock Turkey smiled. "OK, let me know." Meanwhile, back on the beach, Future Dog was teaching some yoga for poise and posture for the award-winning troupe of festival dancers. They had put together a wonderful dance of spirals, turns, leaps and shimmies. But they had been practising so hard, some of them were starting to complain of backache. Future Dog led them into the cat position. "This isn't my favourite," she said slowly and calmly, "but it will sort your back out." They all let out a big sigh of relief. "Ah!" As the evening drew on, they saw the red sun setting out at sea, and Tock and Clive returned from making lots of drink preparations. The Honolulu dancers, who seemed to have never stopped dancing, were swaying silently. "How are you?" said Tock to Future Dog, who was sitting under a palm tree in a meditating position, whilst reading her favourite book. "Oh, not too bad," she said. "I'm just leaving the dancers to it." "Yes, good idea," said Tock. "Have you considered giving them any music to dance to?" Future Dog looked up. "I've got a great Elvis collection, you know, and it could just work the treat." "Yes, that could well lighten them up." "Blue moon!" They both nodded their heads in agreement. "I'll get my iPod and see if I can download it from Egg Cafe," said Future Dog. "It will be much simpler that way. See you soon." And off she padded into the path through the palm trees. Tick-Tock looked out to sea. He could see the raft bobbing up and down on the waves. What to do? Ah, yes! Clive said he would ask the starfish for me to see if they could help. But as he looked down the long peach-coloured beach of Egg Island, he could see Clive scuttling off in the distance on his way home. I'll ask him tomorrow. The next morning, Tick-Tock Turkey woke up to the sound of Blue Moon. He had fallen fast asleep through tiredness under Future Dog's tree, and now he could make out in the haze of heat of the island the dancers moving in a long line backwards and forwards, just as he had imagined. They were also making circular patterns. That must be for the moon, he thought. I wonder if they can make the shape of an eclipse, which is a half-shaped moon. Future Dog was waving directions at them with twinkling butterfly hands. She was truly proficient at this. "Are you going out on the raft today?" she called out to Tick-Tock Turkey. Tick-Tock Turkey spun around. Whee! He felt a bit dizzy. "This song is working a treat." "Thanks, Tick-Tock," said Future Dog, smiling delightedly. She had her coolest pair of shades on, for the sun was beating down very heavily today, and there was not a cloud in sight in the blue sky. "Be sure to wear some sun cream," she said. "Yes!" And off he scuttled to the raft, just in time to see Clive with 3 gorgeous golden starfish following him. "You're a gem," he said. "This is Sparky, Suki and Sarah," said Clive, introducing the 3 starfish who had beautiful big gleaming eyes. "Hello!" they chorused. "And they're not only good at making the drinks, but they can sing too." "Excellent," said Tick-Tock. "Let's get on board that raft. We've got lots more preparation to carry on before this show goes on the road, don't you think? And I need to see how the penguins are getting on." They climbed into the little rubber dinghy, and as they drew closer to the carnival float, they could see the penguins ascending into the air like sky rockets. "Whee!" said the starfish in delight, for they had never seen anything like it. "How on earth are they doing?" said Tick-Tock. "I think they must have got the trampoline out. At least they are practicing." But Tick-Tock Turkey did not like it one bit. He pulled out his mega-speaker, cone-shaped microphone. "Stop this instant!" he called out. "This is highly dangerous and not to be done on board the carnival float." All the penguins squealed and jumped one by one off the trampoline and back into the sea, landing one on top of the other to form a pyramid. "Wowee!" chorused the starfish, clapping their hands. But Tick-Tock pursed his lips and held his breath. He wasn't too happy. "Well, it looks très impressive," said Clive, climbing on board the raft. "Yes," said Tick-Tock, "but I don't trust those penguins. They are dangerous. If anything happens, I'll get it in the neck. Just be careful," he said as he looked out to sea. And they were all playing a little bit more safely now, splashing about in the waves. "Throw some of them the armbands," he said to Clive. "That'll keep them safe in the waves for now. Right, Starfish, come with me." Tick-Tock Turkey led all the creatures up the raft and onto the festival boat. The performance acts were due to start at 6 p.m. that night, and Tick-Tock Turkey was getting excited. Clive the crab was busy making milkshakes, and they were showing one another differences in what they had been doing. All the Egg Island creatures crammed on board, and were awestruck by the sight they saw. The penguin gymnasts had formed a super triangle and were waving brightly coloured festival flags in the air. The penguin at the top was wobbling a bit, which amused Tick-Tock Turkey, but Future Dog was scowling slightly. She didn't trust the menacing little penguins either. Suddenly, off they jumped and scattered left, right and centre, popping off in all directions like firecrackers. Luckily, they still had their armbands on, and they floated when they hit the water. Tick-Tock Turkey turned to Future Dog. "Impressive," he said. Future Dog leaned forward. At least they held it together." "Right, I'm off," said Tick-Tock, looking at his watch. "I've got an announcement to make at the cocktail buffet. Do you want me to introduce the Hawaiian dancers, FD?" "Yes, that would be fab," she said, perusing the deck for her dancing troupe. I can't see any of them anywhere, but possibly they will be here somewhere. Let's wait and see what we get, Tick-Tock," she said. But when she turned around, Tick-Tock Turkey was already gone. He had scuttled off to find Clive the crab, who was still making the final touches to the Hawaiian milkshakes. He found Clive next to the display table. He was putting cherries on the side of the glass with his crab pincers. When he saw Tick-Tock, he said, 240 to be precise, Tick-Tock. Let's hope there's no more partygoers of Egg Island. Oh, you'll have a lot of thirsty listeners." Both friends started to pour the waste down the drain. "Let's just hope that people of Egg Island turn up," said Tick-Tock. No sooner had he spoken than a little rustling came from the trees. It was like the sound of birds cheeping, and they all had a lot of different sounds to their voices, including different types of humming and rustling. "Sounds like they are coming," said Clive. "Quick, let's get the spreadsheet cover on." And they both made a last-minute tidy to get everything looking nice. When Tick-Tock Turkey ventured back to the boat, he saw Future Dog handing out tickets to the locals. Tick-Tock Turkey made another slow look around. "Right, I'll make the announcement then." Future Dog smiled. Everything seemed to be in order and going to plan. She liked this sense of calm about the boat. "Ladies and gentlemen, kids and pets, it is my absolute pleasure to announce the opening of Egg Island Carnival on Sea. I hope you enjoyed the penguins. We are shortly to have a cocktail buffet where you could enjoy drinks and snacks courtesy of us and hosted by Clive." Clive scuttled sideways to Tick-Tock. He was waving his pincers and he shouted greetings. "And then," said Tick-Tock Turkey, gesturing sideways to where Future Dog was standing, "we will have the amazing and talented festival dancers of Honolulu to entertain you, and not to mention our live band, Marvin and the Mussels." The entire crowd seemed impressed, and they chatted together with what sounded like delight. The whole carnival float seemed to buzz with excitement, whilst it bobbed on the waves. Marvin and the Mussels began playing. There were 2 guitarists and a bass player who looked like mussels with their shiny grey coats, and the lead singer Marvin, who wore shiny grey trousers, swayed back and forth with his saxophone. The festival dancers of Honolulu pranced in with their backwards and forwards Latino hip dancing and gave a festive rhythm by clapping coconuts in their hands. The crowd of Egg Island were very much enjoying themselves, and one by one they moved towards the moon-shaped dance floor and started their swing dancing. There were couples doing kick steps and side steps. "Come on," said Future Dog to Tick-Tock Turkey. "Let's go swing dancing and find a way to swing to our heart's content. Off we go. 1, 2, 3. Boing-boing." And the pair danced for glee. They were so good, people made space for them on the dance floor. It was nearing 10 o'clock, and the people of the Egg Island had been dancing for 3 hours. The festival dancers of Honolulu were preparing for their final grand act. The crowd saw them moving towards the silver stage that Clive and Tick-Tock Turkey had prepared for them. Future Dog was smiling with glee. She had butterflies in her stomach as she was truly nervous for them. They made a formation, and then suddenly they started dancing with their garlands, hula-hooping and spinning and twisting and swaying in patterns and shapes and diagonal formations. It appeared effortless, but Future Dog knew it was hard. The whole effect was kaleidoscopic, and the dancers themselves were overjoyed, to say the least. Meanwhile, Tick-Tock Turkey was taking extra safety precautions with Clive the Crab by tying his pincers together with rubber bands so that he couldn't accidentally burst the inflatable boat. And Percy the Place was busy making origami napkins. The band were playing their hearts out. The carnival dancers were still spiralling, and the drum beats of Marvin and the Muscles, who had started playing slow romantic music as the moon and stars had come out at sea. All the young sweethearts of Egg Island were dancing now with glee. Suddenly, Future Dog felt a spatter of water on her nose, and as she looked up to the sky and the darkening heavy grey clouds that were forming, she sensed it was going to rain. She turned to Tick-Tock Turkey and said, "It's going to rain." "What on earth are we going to do? The carnival float isn't that strong." "Don't be silly, FD," said Tick-Tock Turkey. But no sooner had he said this than the whole sky began to crack with thunder, and the rain started coming down thicker and faster. "Quick, quick for shelter!" screeched Clive. "The canapes!" Together with Percy, they put a sheet over the multicoloured drinks table. "We will have to come back for all of these." Tick-Tock Turkey grabbed the cone-like megaphone. "Attention, ladies and gentlemen! We will have to take cover. There is an emergency due to a storm overhead. As a measure of caution, I urge you to take any valuables with you." The people crowded to one side of the boat in a panic. The rain was coming down thicker now, and all of a sudden a huge piece of thunder cracked the boat down the middle, and the whole island was caught in a state of mass panic. "Ah!" They all shrieked together. The boat was rocking back and forth in a state of mass panic. "We're going to drown!" said Tick-Tock Turkey. "We must save ourselves," said Clive the Crab, "or the buffet will be ruined. C'est la vie." He cast his pincers down in despair, ready to drown. "I know," said Future Dog suddenly. "We can find a way to see if the penguins will help us to shore in the emergency dinghy. Quick, Tick-Tock, grab this rope here and tie it around the dinghy at the far end. Okay, off we go. Hey-ho!" The penguins were flapping up and down and clinging on the side of the boat. They were all still about because they had rubber armbands on. Future Dog called out to them, "You have to help us, penguins, and pull the boat to shore to save Egg Island." She and Tick-Tock heaved the emergency dinghy to the water, and the party people of Egg Island climbed into the boat. With their brightly coloured clothes and shoes, they looked like a mass of piranhas as they neared the water. Meanwhile, Marvin and the Mussels were still playing, though their music was getting sadder and more tragic sounding. Clive and Percy were still anticipating the worst, and they were hiding under the giant telescope. They couldn't bear to leave the festival carnival boat. What else could they do? All the people of Egg Island climbed into the boat down a ladder from the side, relieved to be saved from the storm and the rain still pouring down. Suddenly 40 penguins appeared and placed the rope coming from the emergency boat round their tiny little waists. As they swam, the little boat with all 10 persons from Egg Island was safely pulled back across the choppy waves to the shore. Luckily, it wasn't that far. Tick-Tock, Turkey and Future Dog sat on the edge of the boat. They could hear the band still playing. "They're mad!" said Tick-Tock. The dancers, who were also good swimmers, had a little raft of their own. They could see them rowing back to shore in their little rubber dinghy. Suddenly, both friends turned to one another. "What about Clive and Percy? Where are they?" They couldn't see them on the boat. They both looked sharply back at the sinking carnival float in the distance. Meanwhile, back on the float, Clive and Percy were sending an SOS signal out to the sky in tiny little blow-off rockets. They were in a state of panic, still unable to face leaving the boat. What else could they do but wait and wait to see what would happen? "We're going to perish," said Percy, who seemed to have forgotten his old sea life under the waves. He had been on Egg Island so long. Percy suddenly had a second will to survive. He turned to Clive and said, "Let us pop the float, and we can travel back in 2 little round rubber dinghies. I know there is one left." Together they hopped into the round rubber dinghy, and before they rowed off, Clive called to the musicians. "Quick! Jump now! For your lives, mes amis! The festival float is going down!" And, as he said this, he pinched a hole in the side of the float to let all the air out of it. After this, the float began sinking rapidly, and they could see Marvin and the Mussels sailing off in rubber dinghies. "Where did they get those from?" said Percy to Clive. But Clive had buried his head in his pincers. He was too sad to speak at the loss of the carnival float he had personally inflated. When the fish and the crab reached the shore of Egg Island, they were greeted by Tick-Tock and Future Dog. "You're alive!" they both said. They were overjoyed to see them, but Clive looked so sad. He turned to Tick-Tock and said, "The carnival float and the party festival of Honolulu ruined forever." "Oh, Clive," said Tick-Tock sympathetically. "Listen, there still might be a chance to keep the party alive," said Future Dog, as she looked up to the sky. It was beginning to clear. In the early morning light, we could do a festival party finale. What say you, Tick-Tock? "Well, yes, but we'd have to make it extra special, and to cheer Clive up, something to brew up the milkshakes." "Well, you haven't used your time-travelling watch yet, have you, Tick-Tock?" intimated Future Dog. "Oh, yes, how could I have forgotten?" said Tick-Tock, as he looked at his red time travelling wristwatch. "I'm going to go back in time and get something truly magical for the festival finale." "Great," said Future Dog, as she rushed off to get the festival dancers. When she turned around, Tick-Tock Turkey was gone. She looked up to the sky and saw a streak of purple and white. "Wherever has he gone to, I wonder?" But it was pointless thinking about it. Instead, she thought she would help to see if Marvin and the Muscles would resurrect their playing and organise a little salsa class to keep the revived partygoers of Egg Island entertained until Tick-Tock Turkey would come back with his magic ingredient. The festival dancers of Honolulu were busy doing splits and handstands and moving about the beach. Clive and Percy the Crab were busy with hats and pieces of string, all set around them. They couldn't help themselves, it seemed. Future Dog thought she had better practice her yoga for the day. Tick-Tock Turkey would be back any second now. No sooner had she thought this than Tick-Tock Turkey landed right next to her with a thump. He had in his hand a very funny-looking bird and some cocktail sticks. "All the way from Hawaii," he squawked. "What think you, Future Dog?" "I think Clive and Percy will be delighted to see it," she remarked back. "When you see them, you can tell them all about it," said Future Dog, who was in a funny swan-like position. "Okay, see you later," said Tick-Tock to Future Dog. Half an hour later, Future Dog found Tick-Tock Turkey with a very happy Clive and little Percy with magical drinks and a buffet table decorated with Tick-Tock Turkey's little sparkling glitter cocktails, all the way from 1950s Honolulu. Suddenly, some other dancers Future Dog had not seen before appeared, and they had little red jackets on and pedal-pusher blue jeans. "And these are original dancers from the 1950s, said Tick-Tock to her. "I thought I would keep them for you as a surprise. They really know how to rock and roll." And certainly they did. They swung back and forwards and twirled across the beach clearing. As soon as they did, Marvin and the Muscles suddenly appeared and began playing rock and roll tunes. And of course the eager party-goers of Egg Island soon appeared, grooving and swinging across the expanse of Egg Island. And not to mention sipping some of the wonders of Clive and Percy's fantastically coloured party drinks with Tick-Tock Turkey's genuine 1950s sparklers. "Yum, yum," he said, tasting one. "These are amazing. Here's to the finale of Honolulu on Egg Island." And needless to say, the whole of Egg Island danced all night long and through the next day, until it was vibrating and moved the waves of its surrounding waters, impressing the nearby islands. And that was the story of Tick-Tock Turkey and the Festival of Honolulu. Wow, Future Dog and Tick-Tock Turkey certainly pulled off their island party in the end. And some people are already tweeting that that was the biggest comeback since Elvis played with the Spice Girls live at the Hollywood Bowl. I hope you agree. Why not leave us a comment at storynori.com and let us know if you would like more Tick-Tock Turkey stories. The story was written by Michael Brett with help from me, Natasha. So for now, from me, Natasha, bye-bye. Bye-bye.